The USU software team welcomes you here. We are engaged in the development of specialized software, and we are happy to bring to your attention a new generation employee work control program, including the remote work from home. With the help of the program, it is possible to control the work of any employee: corporate employees who work in the office on computers, corporate ones who are relocated to work from home and now you have no idea what they might be doing instead of their work duties, and even freelancers who have a free schedule. However, it is necessary to control them as well, as it is often the case that people are engaged in their personal matters for the employee's money, or even looking for another job, which the director is unaware of. So, how is the personnel and risk control organized? Have you ever seen a security guard's monitor that displays images from all the surveillance cameras? Well, we made the same window, only the image is shown from the monitors of your employees. Depending on the number of employees, this screen can be divided into any number of parts. Each part is signed with the name of the employee. It is even possible to assign a different color to each person or department, so that you can quickly navigate through a large number of employees. Under the name of the employee, there is a bar, the color of which shows whether everything is normal with this employee. There must be up-to-date information about his or her work. And the computer should not be idle, because dishonest employees can turn on the computer to check in and then leave it to have tea. If such unacceptable cases are detected, the color of the status bar will turn red to draw your attention to the problem. The downtime is shown in brackets. For example, you will see how many minutes or maybe even hours the person has not touched either the mouse or the keyboard. Moreover, the program is designed in such a way that it is not even necessary to look at people's monitors. In the case of downtime longer than the allowed number of minutes, the system itself will notify responsible employees with pop-up notifications. Also, a similar notification will be displayed immediately if an employee runs an inappropriate program, for example, if he or she starts to spend time in social networks or play computer games. In the status bar, the name of the program that is opened on employee's computer is indicated after some time of downtime. And after the name of the employee, you will see the time of the last information reception. Now let's have a look at how this information is sent. Each employee installs a time management program. First, the very fact that the employee will be monitored already encourages him or her to be engaged in work and not in personal matters. The program simply shows the time from the moment it is opened. For it to be launched automatically, all that needs to be done is to put it in the auto run of the computer. That is the only thing that the employee sees and knows. But unscrupulous employees see nothing suspicious and relax and, as before, start doing something not related to work. It is impossible to change one's nature. Never. If you have found someone who causes you to lose profit or who even badly affects your business, you need to solve this problem as soon as possible. And it is naive to believe that you know someone well enough to trust him or her, as nobody can tell what goes on in another person's mind. Maybe the reason you trust an employee lies in the fact that you don't know some particular aspects of his or her character, the things we have seen and the tricks we have faced during the development and testing of this program. And now you also have the opportunity to reveal all tricks. In order for this program to send information, even when employees work from home, you need to use your website. In case you don't have a website, there is no need to create it. You can just buy a cheap domain and hosting. The website itself will not open, but it is needed to send information to the manager or any other responsible employee through this created internet link. The information is sent with the frequency you need, and text data about the currently open program is sent more often than screenshots, because every screenshot is a picture, and too many pictures can lead to an overload of your system. Now let's go back to our screen viewer and learn how to work in it. To zoom in for the screen of the desired employee, just click on it, and you will see everything as if you were standing behind the employee and he or she didn't even notice. At the bottom you can see the last 10 screenshots. Each one is taken once a minute by default. This means that you can have a quick look at what the employee has been doing for the last 10 minutes. If the images are the same, then it means that he or she did nothing. Time is indicated above each screenshot. Often this is not enough, because the manager is already busy with his or her management work and can't constantly monitor the employees. Therefore, it is possible to display the history for the desired period. For example, you can display the whole working day. If you do this, you'll see a time scale with which you can literally travel back in time and see screenshots of the monitor, and also a table where you can see the entire history of work in text form. How does the scale of screenshots work? The position is initially set to the last shot. You can rewind the images. If you press the left arrow on the keyboard, you will view the work in detail on a minute-by-minute basis. The displayed time is shown on a scale with a black background. There is also a fast rewind through 10 minutes of work. Just click on the scale that is to the left of the current position. This is the so-called A Big Step option. You can also switch to the desired working time in the table, and then a screenshot of the closest to the selected time will be automatically displayed. To return to the list of all monitors again, just click on the current screen image. And then, if necessary, you can check any other employee in the same way. So, it was the control of the remote work of employees in real time. And now, let's see what kind of analytics you will get thanks to the accounting capabilities of the UseU software. In the main section of the program, you will see the following. First, a list of the employees you are going to monitor. Second, a list of the programs in which employees can work. The most popular ones are already listed here. You can also add programs to this list at any time, if your organization uses other programs. Now let's talk about the most interesting topic, the technical part. How does the software determine which program a person is working in? The answer is by registering the window that is opened. Every program consists of windows. Each window has, in addition to a clear title, also a system name, which is called the window class. The window class, unlike its title, never changes. If you once linked a window to the right program, for example Microsoft Excel, you will always know for sure that the employee is working in Excel, regardless of which file will be opened by the user. And then you only need to enter the permissions for each program, who can work there and who can't. If you can, the color is green. If not, red. Everything is intuitive. There are also programs where everything depends on the content, such as internet browsers. Some sites can be visited, others can't. In such cases, you can set permissions or bans by the window title bar. When access rights are assigned, you can easily get analytics on each employee for any day of the week. The program visualizes their work in the form of a multicolored scale, where green is the best sign, which means that the employee was working and was doing it in the allowed program. Yellow indicates that the work was done in a program which you have not yet determined whether it is allowed or not. Red shows that the employee was working in a banned program. White is the color of downtime, and here the manager needs to look at each employee individually. The employee might have a physical job that requires him or her to get up from the computer, and then white can be interpreted positively. If the work is automated and needs to be done only on the computer, then the white indicates mere idleness and absence from the workplace. Lunchtime of corporate employees is not indicated as the white color. Lunch is highlighted with a separate purple color. During this time, the employee is free to do what he or she pleases, even play computer games. The program does not invade personal space. The analytics of the USU software is built in such a way that you can analyze not only a particular day, but also a whole period to see the dynamics of changes of productivity indicators over time. You see whether an employee starts working better, for example, after reprimand. Or maybe he or she doesn't care what the manager says and continues to solve his or her personal matters. You can compare employees with each other. For example, it might be not clear whether there should be the white color of downtime on the chart or not, when an employee is fulfilling a certain task, or when the question of salary changes is being decided, and you want to understand who really deserves more and who does not work appropriately to even get the current salary. Here is an example of the work history of two employees, one of whom works so actively that he has practically no white color, and the other has a lot of it. In addition, this problematic employee was absent for another half an hour after lunch. And he is not at all shy about using banned programs, as it is evidenced by the red dash. As you can see, everything is already clear in just a few seconds. But you can also study any day of work in detail by opening the history of the desired employee on a certain date. As the saying goes, the human factor is the most important factor. And it's really true. Keep your business safe from unscrupulous employees. Don't let an irresponsible attitude to work negatively influence your business in these difficult times. Many companies are facing a life and death question right now. Can they stay afloat or not? Use our professional software to resolve the most important issue of employee productivity. We work with organizations all over the world. Contact us. We will definitely help you. The USU software. Manage your business properly.